Hi, I welcome you to AB Math Education. Here is Mr. AB once more again. I'm taking you through all the likely SAT questions that can come. As today we are looking at the functions, how we can able to do the function evaluations and all that. ACT questions most of the time it's not straightforward, and we are giving you all the hints, the strategies, and the tips to crack it down. So you have been given f of x is equals to negative 2x plus 7. Now they want us to find f of 1/2 x plus 3. So what you have to know is that the x has been replaced with half x plus 3. So wherever we see x in the actual expression, we have to substitute this one for it. So negative 2. And now that x has been replaced with the whole of this. So you write your half x plus 3 and then plus 7. And you go ahead and remove the parentheses from here. Negative 2 times 1 is going to give you negative 2. And then the x is over there, all divided by 2. If you don't see it, every whole number is over 1. So this top numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator, that give you that. And here this one also multiply. This one is going to be negative 6 and then plus 7. We move on to that. This give you negative x or negative 1x and then minus 6 plus 7. These two numbers are constant, so they are like terms. So when we operate on that, we get negative x and that gives us plus 1. So you see that option A is the right one. Okay, so here is another instances. We have been given the function, there is a k in it, and now they are giving you a clue here that will help you to find your k. And after we find our k, then we will find the value of g of 1. So let's go ahead and use this one. G of negative 1 means that wherever we see x, we have to replace it with negative 1 in that given function here. So that will give us k negative 1 or cube plus 3. So as we do it, we will get negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1 times another negative 1 will be negative 1. So here we are getting k times negative 1 plus 3. And that is equals to negative 1 times k is negative k plus 3. And that's g of negative 1. But we know that g of negative 1 have to be equals to 5. So here, this implies that we can say that, negative k plus 3 must be equals to 5. This will help us to find our k. So we want to find our k, we will send a 3 over here, or want to make here 0. So we subtract here 3, and you repeat the same thing here. And that gives you negative k is equals to 2. But we are looking for k, not negative k. So we will divide both sides by negative 1, and then k is equals to negative 2. So you can go ahead and rewrite this expression as g of x is equals to negative 2x cubed plus 3, because now we know the k, the value of k. And now they want us to find g of 1. So finally, so be careful here, this is not the answer, so you have to go all the way, and then we are finding g of 1. So g of 1 means that when x is equals to 1, what is going to happen is that wherever we see x, we replace it with 1. So 1 cubed plus 3. And here will be just negative 2 plus 3. And that is equals to 1. So the answer is 1. G of x is equals to 1 is 1. So here C is a a good option here. So let's go ahead and solve this one. So we have been given f of x plus 1 is equals to negative half x plus 6, and they want us to find f of negative 3. So look at here, all of them is in there. Okay, so all of them are like the images. Okay, so we can say that this implies that u of x plus 1 must be equals to f of negative 3. If that is the case, then x plus 1, we are trying to find our x have to be equals to negative 3, and then we get negative 3, and then we send this one over here, negative 1. So this gives us as negative 4. So after we find this one, then we can say that f of x plus 1 must be equals to f of negative 4. And now we are going to replace this one in here, and that will be giving us negative 1/2 and negative 4 here plus 6. This will give us negative times negative is going to be positive, so 4 over 2 plus 6, and that is 2 plus 6, and that's equals to 8. So at this moment we have done a lot of them, so you can pause and see if you can do this one. The ACT people, they like this kind of questions, so practice and get it. Here, this will help us to find our b, and then we will plug it back in and see what happened. So this means that x is equals to negative 2. What we get in this equation here is just going to be negative 2 is all of them squared minus b, and when we do that we get 4, because negative 2 times negative 2 is 4, and then minus b. Okay, so when it's negative 2 we get this here, but we have been given that if it is equals to 7, so this implies that 4 minus b must be equal to 7, and that will help us to find our value of b. So here we subtract 4 here, and we subtract 4 here, so that this goes away. Negative b is 3, and then we divide both sides by that, and that gives us negative 3. So we get negative 3, we get b to be negative 3. So now we know that the value of b, which is f of x, is equals to x squared minus is plus 3. That's the function right now. So let's go ahead and then find our f of b, which is now negative 3 in that function, and that's going to give us negative 3 all squared plus 3, and we get 9. Negative 3 times negative 3 is 9, and then here 9 plus 3 is equals to 12. So f of b is 12. You have to know how to wind around and find the missing and put it back, and then finding the value. Alright, the ACT, that's how the questions are. So follow just flow, and then now you get understanding. Okay, so pause around and see if you can find the value of a for this one. So here we have been given the function, and we have been given one of the point in there, and it corresponded the input and output. So we can equate, and then we can find the value of a, and then we can find our f of negative half. So here we will find when x is equals to negative 1 in the function is wherever we see x we put negative 1, so a times negative 1 plus 2, and that give us negative a plus 2. But we know that the f of negative 1 is also equals to 4. So here we know that f of negative 1 is also equals to 4. then it must be equal to this, negative a plus 2. So this will help us. So this implies that we can able to solve for our a. So 4, we bring this 1 over minus 2 equals to negative a. And here give us 2 is equals to negative a. And then we will say negative 2 is equals to a. So if you want to write it in the standard form, it's negative 2. So we plug it back here. So f of x is equals to negative 2x plus 2. So therefore, f of negative 1/2 must be equals to negative 2 times negative half plus 2. And that gives us 2 divided by 2